la lecture des consignes en français ou en anglais?
En anglais?
En anglais, okay. So you have 20 minutes to present your case to the judges. I will show a board with the 10, 5, 2, and 30 seconds remaining of the presentation. Also, the last 10 seconds, I will show you the remaining seconds with my hands. A team not having ended its presentation after 20 minutes will be stopped to move on to the period of questions. The period of question of a maximum duration of 5 minutes is assigned to the jury at the end of the presentation. It's a reminder to the jury that it's mandatory to ask at least one question during the period. So I would invite the judges to present themselves and then you can start.
Jeanette Landry, Operations Human Resources, Atlantic Lotto.
Hi, I'm Claire Turbide-Albert. I'm the Director of Organizational Development at Atlantic Lottery.
Perfect. The keel of a sailboat has two primary functions. It ensures that the boat does not veer off course, and it holds the ballast, which keeps the boat right side up. Hello, members of Atlantic Lottery Corporation. We are Keel Consulting, and today we're here to present you with a few strategies to help propel your company forward. Our team is comprised of myself, Caroline Robertson, the Director of Financials and Strategic Planning.
And my name is Sarah Casterton, and I'm the Marketing and IT Development Expert.
Je m'appelle Cassandra Tadori, je suis la spécialiste en ressources humaines et relations industrielles.
Today, in order to propose you with our strategies, we're going to first start off by stating our mandate, followed by an analysis of the environment in which your company operates. Then we're going to list our 3 strategies, followed by the implementation and the strategic implications of these strategies. To start off, our mandate today is to help your company to combat the difficult government framework within which you operate, to help you to develop a more innovative and collaborative culture within your workplace, and lastly, to help you to remain competitive in this era of globalization and e-gaming. Now we're going to move on to analysis to better understand the environment in which you operate.
So first we're going to be talking about consumer analysis. We decided to divide into 4 main segments: your student, your young adult, your family man, and your senior. So first we're going to start with the young student. The young student makes a yearly income a really small amount. However, surprisingly, their gambling presence is actually medium to high, which is a very important aspect that we should notice, that there's now shifting more to gambling. Now we're going to be looking at young adult Isabel. Young adult Isabel, the negatives are that the fact is their mostly promotion is online, not really social media, but rather websites and emails that they get. However, the positive is that they have a wide variety of gambling types. As you can see, they do casinos, lottery tickets, and gambling apps, which is a very particular part that we'll discuss further in the presentation. Now we look at Family Man Max. Family Man Mark has a high income salary. Out of all of them, he has the highest. However, his presence in gambling is only medium and only uses 2 types of gambling, which is lottery tickets and online gaming due to the lack of disposable time. Lastly, we look at the best one, Senior Sam. Senior Sam is the highest gambling presence out of all 4 of them, since they have now officially retired and have a high disposable time. But however, their disadvantage is that mostly the form of communication with them is newspapers, not in word of mouth, not really online or social media, since they're mostly focused on that. And the key takeaway here is that we already have these first 2 set demographic. However, these 2 we're lacking in. We need to have a connection with them. We want to develop that, and we'll further discuss that in the presentation. Now we look at the competitor analysis. The competitor analysis, rather than focusing on your direct competitors, we decided to focus on Maclean's top 100 recruiters for young adults. And this is very important to realize that these 3 are actually in the entertainment business. And the reason why they're the biggest recruiters is because they have 2 key aspects that you're currently lacking in, which is technological recruitment and technological advancement in the workplace. These are the 2 main ones that if you were to fill those gaps with a strategy, you could potentially be on the top of the list of Maclean's 100 top young adult recruiters. Now I'm going to be passing it over to Cassandra to talk about the analytical trends.
Thank you, Sarah. Donc, afin de bien comprendre l'industrie, il est très important de regarder aux tendances météorologiques ou l'analyse des tendances. Donc, comme dans toute entreprise, la culture organisationnelle est un aspect extrêmement important pour assurer le succès à long terme de votre entreprise. D'ailleurs, d'après l'étude faite par l'Université de Harvard, les entreprises qui ont une meilleure culture organisationnelle surpassent en compétition par 20%. Et ceci est dû au fait que leurs employés sont beaucoup plus engagés, sont fidèles, ils travaillent plus fort, et donc le revenu fait juste augmenter. Regardant sur la piste de revenu, le revenu est à 1,2 à 1,7% plus haut que leurs compétiteurs, et il se retrouve à 2,1% supérieurs sur l'échelle de repères comparativement à leur concurrence. Finalement, la même étude démontre qu'il y a une corrélation qui existe de façon positive entre l'entreprise et les actionnaires, parce qu'il y a une bonne communication, une bonne relation. Donc, c'est vraiment à comprendre que la culture organisationnelle est très importante dans toute entreprise. Aussi, il est important de noter que l'industrie du jeu à bourse va avoir un peu de difficulté dans les prochaines 5 années, puisque le revenu des consommateurs anticipe augmenter. Mais d'après une étude faite par Ibis World, les consommateurs seront beaucoup plus aptes à vouloir économiser leur argent pour diminuer leurs dettes et pour augmenter leurs épargnes. Cependant, cette même étude démontre que l'industrie du jeu à bourse le revenu quant à l'industrie du jeu à bourse demeurera stable, qui est très prometteur pour les stratégies que nous allons vous parler sous peu. Donc, avec ceci dit, je vais maintenant passer la parole à Caroline qui va parler de l'analyse au niveau interne Excel.
To wrap up this analysis, I'm going to finalize with an overall analysis of the environment, both external and internal. I'm sure you're quite used to hearing of the SWOT analysis. However, we took that one step further today and we included Eurekas. Eurekas are the most salient facts that we think it's very important to highlight that we found in this analysis. So, to begin, the strengths of your company are first and foremost the excellent reputation that you have built over the years. You're known for your corporate social responsibility, for your Atlantic Lottery campus, for your high salary, and your excellent employee benefits. That being said, the weaknesses are mainly surrounding the lack of innovation and entrepreneurial spirit, the fact that there is a lack of mobile presence, and once again, that difficult government framework where you have to report to those 4 provinces. On the external side, the threats facing your organization are obviously the international competitors with globalization. There's also the issue of government regulation, seeing as that does directly affect the sales of your industry. And once again, the overall reputation of the gambling industry does directly affect your sales as well. This being said, we'll now take it to the Eurekas, the most salient facts that popped out to us. And these are, first and foremost, this year just so happens to be the 150th anniversary. And we think that that's an excellent platform to launch some new ideas off of and to really gain enthusiasm. There's also the fact that your organization has very modern workspaces, which can easily be used to foster that collaborative work environment. Also, gambling decreases in the winter months in Atlantic Canada due to the difficult weather conditions, and therefore it highlights the fact that it's particularly important to have that online opportunity for gambling. Which brings me to the last point, the fact that e-gaming does represent 29% of the industry. All that will be summarized by our opportunities. We want to help you to seize the opportunity to foster a more innovative and collaborative work environment, to build that mobile presence, and to leverage some of the existing government initiatives in innovation that we will touch on later. All that being said, we're now going to move on to the strategies that we propose to you today. So as you can see by this graph on the board, all of our 3 strategies relate back to innovation, both on the cultural side and helping you to remain competitive in the market. More specifically, our 3 KPIs that we want to achieve today are first and foremost an increase in efficiency of 5% within your organization. We also want to help you to implement 2 new innovative ideas per year, on one note, to gain enthusiasm of the employees, but also to help you to remain at the forefront of the industry. Lastly, we also want to decrease the number of new hire failures by 20%. The industry standard is currently 46, and we want to move that to 26, mainly just to help you to have the best and brightest on your team to help you moving forward. Now we're going to start with our first strategy, which is decentralization. Your organization is currently known as being somewhat centralized, rule-oriented, and bureaucratic. This has worked very well for you in the past. However, in order to remain competitive, it is important that you have a culture that allows for more innovation and flexibility, which is why we do suggest a more decentralized structure. As you can see, this is the current structure. However, in the future, instead of one decision-making node, we want to move to multiple. So the strategic decisions will remain centralized, but then we want to decentralize the rest, mainly administrative and that type of decisions. This will look as follows. All of the lower-level decision-making will happen from the lower-level managers, and those decisions would be filtered upwards. There's many benefits to this. It just so happens those managers have the better information about the day-to-day operations. It'll also empower these workers, which will make them to have more buy-in. They'll get more enthusiastic about the ideas, and this increases, like was our KPI, the overall efficiency of the organization. The last thing I'd like to point out for this strategy is that your company, like we mentioned, has extremely modern workplaces, and this can be leveraged. We can start using these common areas to foster that more collaborative culture. We can move the board meetings and other more informal meetings into these areas to get away from that more stiff and rule-oriented culture, and this will really help to leverage that decentralization. So, this being said, we're going to keep with the theme of innovation, and now Cassandra is going to talk to you about our second strategy.
Thank you, Caroline. Donc, suite au changement de la structure du pouvoir décisionnel, soit une structure centralisée, une structure décentralisée, nous croyons que l'auto-Atlantique doit vraiment trouver une façon d'innover de façon continuelle, tout en impliquant les membres du personnel. Comment y arriver? En lançant la compétition de Elevator Pitch. À l'origine, un Elevator Pitch est une conversation de 30 secondes à 2 minutes qui te permet de présenter, présenter une idée de façon efficace à un prospect le temps d'un voyage en ascenseur. En d'autres mots, votre entreprise lancerait une compétition interne 2 fois par année qui serait seulement ouverte aux membres du personnel. Chaque candidat aura un maximum de 2 minutes afin de présenter une idée et le vendre ou proposer un changement à l'entreprise, que ce soit un nouveau jeu qui devrait être lancé ou faire demande d'avoir aucune rencontre les mercredis, par exemple. Chaque idée ou chaque proposition sera évaluée et révisée grâce à un vote majoritaire, voulant dire que tous les membres du personnel, et incluant les employés autant que la direction, voteront pour l'idée qui serait implémentée. Donc, le fait d'inclure des employés qui sont au niveau un peu plus bas va vraiment assurer qu'il y a un certain buy-in auprès des membres, ce qui favorise une solidarité parmi les membres, favorisant la culture organisationnelle de votre entreprise. Et comme j'ai mentionné plus tôt, la culture organisationnelle est quelque chose d'extrêmement important pour le succès à long terme de votre entreprise. Cependant, afin de garder un certain contrôle au niveau de la direction, la personne qui tient présentement le poste de spécialiste en innovation sera non seulement en charge de la compétition, mais aura le dernier mot quant à la prise de décision, afin de s'assurer que c'est quand même une stratégie ou une idée qui est faisable pour l'entreprise, que ça répond à la mission, à la vision et que ça fait dans le budget de l'auto-Atlantique. Parlant de chiffres, Caroline va plus tard vous parler des finances, mais je voulais mentionner que dépendant de l'idée qui sera choisie et implémentée, votre entreprise pourrait faire demande à l'Agence de promotion économique du Canada Atlantique pour recevoir des fonds d'innovation atlantique. Ceci est un programme du gouvernement, comme vous pouvez voir, qui offre des fonds pour favoriser la compétitivité, la productivité et la compétitivité entre les entreprises pour que vous continuez à demeurer compétitif par rapport à votre concurrence. Donc, quand ça répond aux critères que vous voyez à l'écran, il n'y aurait aucun problème à faire demande de recevoir des fonds de ce programme-là. Donc, moi et Caroline, on va parler de la culture organisationnelle, mais pour rester le thème d'innovation, je vais passer la parole à Sir I qui va vous présenter sa stratégie.
Thank you, Cassandra. Now we're going to be looking at the 2 things that I talked about before in the competitor analysis. We talked about recruitment and technological advancement, as well as the adding to the consumer that we want to focus on the younger demographic. So rather than creating 2 separate strategies, we decided to combine the 2 and create one single strategy. The strategy is, I'd like to introduce you to the Atlantic Lottery Corporation Hackathon. This is a hackathon provides the opportunity to have a competitive environment and where you can bring Canada's best and brightest to come and find out solutions for any problem that you may have. So currently you do have an app in development. You currently do have an app. However, the app only contains 1 game and it's only on the iOS system. However, with the hackathon, not only would you be bringing the best and brightest, you'd be bringing many ideas to redevelop this app. And that's the main focus for our first ever hackathon. A hackathon, again, is a competition which pairs up students. And anyone can participate 19 and plus. This is due to the fact that Atlantic Lottery has the restriction that you have to be 19 and plus to work there. Furthermore, the participation and admission would be free to incentivize Canada's students who may not particularly have a lot of money to travel, but that's an incentive to come and work for this company. As you can see, furthermore, hackathons give that opportunity for innovation and growth. The teams would be a team of 7. That's typically how much a hackathon usually has, 6 to 7 people. But we want to go with the biggest amount, which is 7. And also, we only have 3 requirements. There's a $43K budget, which will be further explained in financials in more detail, as furthermore, using the office for the hackathon. As Caroline was saying before, the office is a great opportunity. We want to show the potential. We want to show where these hackers could potentially be working at. To have that sense of environment, it allows them to be able to grow not only in the competition, but potentially grow in the company. Now we look at the most important and quintessential element, which is commitment and endorsement from senior leadership. That's what's most important here. We want to see that senior leadership is behind this idea, that they truly do want Canada's best and brightest working for this company. And that is the most important part of this hackathon. Furthermore, this hackathon has 5 benefits. These 5 benefits are innovation, not only that, recruitment, developer engagement, which is such a tight-knit community. But putting our foot in the door will allow us to not only be recognized within the developer community, but show that we're a company that wants to help them, grow. And now we look at IP development. Not only are we helping them, we're helping ourselves. With new solutions to better fit our technology aspect in the workplace, we're also doing that. And lastly, corporate branding. We're known mostly for older adults. However, with the corporate branding of the hackathon, it will permit us to attend to that younger audience and show them that we truly do care about the younger audience and their type of gambling. And not only that, the hackathon benefits the 46%, again, of the failure rate of new hires. Hackathons actually decrease it by 20%. Its studies have shown that a lot of the times, companies that have hackathons incentivizes more hackers who fit under pressure. A lot of times hackathons are under pressure, and it allows them to be able to feel that pressure that they would feel in the workplace. And it allows them to be able to see if they truly want to work there, thus reducing the hiring failure rate. And now I want to show you a detailed analysis of it. These are the ideas that the hackers come in. They have these many ideas to grow the company. But what hackathons do, they turn those gears around and they create invention, products, proposals, strategies, and innovation, which all lead to technological advancement, which is not only helping them, it's helping us. And as you can see, our 3 strategies have completely fit to the thing that we needed the most. So with culture evolution and remaining competitive, which all leads back to innovation. Now I'm going to be passing it over to Caroline, who will be talking about how to implement these strategies and financials.
Thank you. Now that we have all the puzzle pieces, we're going to go about seeing how they fit together. Firstly, we'll look at our timeline, which is somewhat in the short horizon, seeing as they can be implemented rather quickly. In the short term, we'd map our way to success, and we would first go about appointing leads to lead each one of these strategies. We would also delegate the authority for the decentralization, and we would go about planning each one of the competitions. In the medium term, we would hold the competitions. That would be 1 hackathon per year and 2 elevator pitches per year. And we would also go about meeting with the managers who have been decentralized, who have been delegated the authority, because it's really important that they remain focused on the primary goal of the organization and they all have the same vision. In the long term, we would evaluate the success of each strategy, make the necessary improvements, and promote the ones that work the best. And we would also go about developing or redeveloping your existing app thanks to the hackathon ideas that come about. To elaborate on the leads that will be appointed, as you can see here, based on the job descriptions that your company provided us, an HR manager would be promoted to the position of lead of the decentralization strategy. The innovation specialist would take on the elevator pitch competitions, and the manager of IT operations and optimization would delegate the authority for the hackathons. Now that we have a general understanding of the implementation, we're going to go look at the financial implications of this. I'd like to start by recognizing the fact that our strategy is primarily internally focused, namely on the culture, and because HR is a cost center first and foremost, today we're just going to break down the costs for you, and our KPIs are going to work as the revenue. Our revenue is somewhat long-term. There are financial benefits, however, they're somewhat hard to calculate with certainty, therefore we're going to focus on the costs. As you can see on the board, decentralization will cost us $5,000 per year. This is the cost of the promotion of the HR manager, and it's based on the salary scheme of HR managers according to government pay rates. The elevator pitch competition will be a $200,000 cumulative fund, and this $200,000 will be to cover any excess that is not covered by the Atlantic Innovation Fund that Cassandra talked about. The hackathon will cost a total of $43,000. This is based on another hackathon that was held by another company successfully, and we used their costs and integrated it. This is for an estimation of about 550 participants a year, including the judges and competitors. Altogether, this would cost a total of just under $250,000. And like I said, this is the overall cost, and the benefits truly do lie in our KPIs, which Cassandra will go about reiterating and then wrapping up the presentation as a whole.
Thank you, Caroline. Donc, comme mentionné, chacune des 3 stratégies qui vous ont été présentées aujourd'hui présente chacun des avantages très spécifiques. Donc, la stratégie de décentralisation permettrait à votre entreprise d'augmenter l'efficacité de l'entreprise par 5%. Et ce 5% provient d'une étude qui démontre directement la corrélation entre l'autonomisation et la performance de l'entreprise. Par la suite, j'ai continué en expliquant la compétition de elevator pitch, qui va non seulement favoriser la culture organisationnelle, mais qui assurera qu'il y aura 2 idées qui sont mises en marche 2 fois par année pour assurer qu'il y a toujours cette innovation continuelle dans votre entreprise. Finalement, Sarah a fini par vous présenter la dernière stratégie qui est la compétition de hackathon, qui est plutôt au niveau externe, et ceci va diminuer le taux d'échec de nouvelles locations par 20% afin de s'assurer qu'on demeure compétitif dans l'industrie et qu'on est toujours de l'avant comparativement à la concurrence. Donc, tout ceci pour dire, j'aimerais vous rappeler que nous sommes Kill Consulting et nous sommes ici pour s'assurer qu'on vous présente une stratégie qui s'assure que vous êtes sur le bon trajectoire et que vous propulsez de l'avant de votre industrie. Merci beaucoup et nous demeurons à votre disponibilité pour répondre à toutes questions.
Okay. Very good presentation.
Thank you.
And I feel bad because all the questions I had you answered throughout your presentation. So no, very applicable. I'm at a loss for questions right now because, you know, I don't know. Do you have a question?
But if you would have like one of your yeah, which one would you pick? If we could only take one, which one would you suggest?
I think then it would become a question of prioritization. The hackathon is truly axed towards remaining competitive on the market, and the elevator pitch is once again fostering that innovative culture. But I think if you had to move forward with one, it's best to start at the root of the problem and go forward with decentralization, because I think once that decentralized organizational structure is formed, it will help foster the other 2 ideas, because once again, that'll help you to remain competitive and it will help you to foster that more collaborative work environment. So I think that one really allows to build upon itself, and it's the most key aspect, which is why we presented it first.
That's a very big cultural change.
It is. Exactly, which is why I think it's important to make the big change first, instead of making little ones and then having to shift to it.
Yeah. So how do you go about doing that?
It's obviously a very big bite to chew off, and the most important part, once again, is to get the employee buy-in and to build excitement around it, which is why we truly did highlight the 150th anniversary, because this can be used to gain the excitement of employees. But I think the important part is to ensure that there is consistency amongst those managers that are delegated authority. So first, it would be a lot of work on HR's behalf to go about selecting those managers who will be delegated authority, and then from that point on, it's ensuring that you have one very strong, and that's why we chose leads within the organization, because they have that pre-existing knowledge. But it's important to choose one HR manager who truly does understand the objective, who would be able to ensure that all the objectives of these lower level managers align. Because one of the defaults of decentralization is that if the managers all are going in different paths, it doesn't correlate with the big picture of the organization. So I think that the key part is obviously selecting the managers to decentralize, but then ensuring there's one strong individual who can remain a consistent view amongst these managers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.